Ladies and gentlemen, we have the lovely, the beautiful, the most faithful of the faithfuls, Shereé Whitfield at McBard's. Hi, Shereé.
Hi, Shereé. It is so wonderful to speak with you and to be on your platform. Thank you for having me.
Oh my God, thank you for coming on. I got so much stuff I want to ask you, lady. First of
Okay.
all, let me say I've been a fan I watch everything reality, and I've always watched everything reality. That's how I ended up going on Survivor in 2005. And I've watched the Housewives of Atlanta since the very beginning, the inception. And I've
Wow.
always been a fan of yours, my lady. I love
Thank
how
you.
far you progressed. I love how beautiful you haven't aged a minute. Not
Thank
one minute.
you.
I know you're a grandma, as am I.
Yes. Yes. I had to pick her up today from school.
So I wanted to get my fangirl out the way before we start with these questions.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for, watching Housewives and being, part of the beginning stages of Housewives and, continuing
Yeah.
on. So I really appreciate that.
Oh, no, my pleasure. It was my pleasure. I watched all the way. Kim used to be there and everything.
Yeah. Those are good old days.
So we're going to dive into the Traitors season
Hmm.
2, the ending and the reunion show.
Mm.
So I just have a few questions, Shereé. Like we mentioned, you were a housewife of Atlanta. What made you go delve into the competition reality realm?
Suri, so like you said, I've been on Housewives since the beginning. I've not really stepped outside of my box. I feel like, okay, I got that. Let me try to do something different. Let me try to challenge myself. And
Mm,
everybody who knows me knows that, I am pretty physical. I did watch season one
yeah,
and I was like, okay, these challenges or these missions, they're not that bad.
right.
So, and then I absolutely fell in love with the show.
Oh,
So I'm like, you know what? I got the call and I was like, okay, I'll do it.
perfect, perfect. I
Yeah.
like the fact that you wanted to challenge yourself because that's
Mhm.
what made me go on to the reality TV realm because it was something different,
Yep.
something once in a lifetime, and I really wanted to challenge myself as well. So I connect with you on that.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
you keep challenging yourself. You how many shows have you been on?
huh?
How many shows have you been on?
Oh, so well,
So
Survivor I was
many.
on 4 times, and then I was on the Traitors, and I was on Big Brother, and I was on this one, Snake in the Grass. So Survivor, I only counted as one because it's Survivor. I just repeated it. So technically, I've been on Survivor, Big Brother's Traitors, 4 reality TV shows, but one of them 4 times. So 8 total times on television for those competitions.
Wow, you're a trooper.
But it's once in a lifetime, and I got kids. I have all boys, and they need to know that you don't give up. You don't If you don't win, if at first you don't succeed, you try again, and nothing beats a failure but a try. And I have to lead by that example. So if I want them to live their lives to the fullest, I had to wake up because I didn't start doing this
Mhm.
till I was 33, and
Oh,
get off
wow.
that couch and show them, like, listen, there's a lot of life out there. Don't just sit in this house and watch TV. Get out there and live.
That's right. That's right. That's a good example.
And I
Absolutely.
love to see y'all doing it. I love to see people who I fangirl over now coming into the reality competition realm and now being a part of the family or the sisterhood, the brotherhood, the route
Hmm.
competition realm hood. Like, we are all family. You'll see as time goes by,
Yes.
you connect with these people, they all become like one big family. And I like that
Right.
as well.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. How did it differ? Like, I know the Housewives is your life, and I get that. And from watching you guys, I know, and I'm grateful for you guys just opening up your life to us. We have a front row view of everything that happens in your life. But how does it differ going from just sharing your life to reality competition? Were you like
Oh,
nervous, excited when you got the call? How did you feel?
I was excited. I didn't know what to expect. Again, I did watch season one, so I felt like I was kind of preparing myself a little bit. And then I felt like being on, Real Housewives of Atlanta. I mean, we're always, we got the lies, the deceit, the cattiness. We have all of that. But this is totally different. Nothing can prepare you for being in that trader's castle. It's
Right,
totally different. Again, like you said, we live our real lives.
right.
You guys play
Mm.
a game, a serious, a nasty game for a living. We're there just like, la-di-da-di-da-di, you know, to some point, and then you gotta wake up and you're like, okay, these people are really playing the game. So, you gotta put your big girl panties on and kind of roll with it. Yeah.
Well, you adapted really well and you did excellent. No one ever suspected you as a traitor. You were one of the most faithful of the faithfuls. And that leads me to my next question. When you knew you were cast for season 2 of the Traitors, did you want to be a traitor or did you want to be a faithful?
No, Chereé. Everyone who got into that castle wanted to be a traitor. Who wants to come in as a faithful? I really want to come in as a traitor because the traitors have the upper hand. They they
Yeah.
they can win all the pot. They can win all the money. Also, they get to sleep peacefully at night.
You
And
don't, Shereé. You don't
you
sleep
don't.
peaceful at night. You're so stressed and scared that people are going to. I want to talk to Parvati and Phaedra and Dan and see if they slept peacefully, then they are sociopaths because so I was so afraid of every day like doing something or having the wrong look at breakfast where they'd be like, "Oh, she's a traitor." I feel like being a traitor is not as easy as people think it is, and if in fact you do get to return, and I have a stinky suspicion that you did so well that if they have like a returning player season that you'll probably get the call and you get to be a traitor, you'll see what I'm saying. You don't sleep at night. First of all, we got to stay
You
up later than y'all
late
because
hours.
go kill
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So maybe
go ahead.
go ahead. Go. No, go.
Then you're so afraid of being caught, right? You're
Yeah.
so afraid of being caught. You guys have to be afraid of being murdered, and we got to
Murder
be
and
afraid of
banished.
murdered and banished. But so we could be, yeah. So we
Banished.
do. We can only be
Yeah.
banished. You can't murder us. But the tension for me of anybody finding out, I don't know, my worst fear was standing in the circle of truth after being banished and having to look at everybody and say, yeah, I'm a traitor. I did not want to do
Yeah.
that at all.
Yeah. Listen, okay, so maybe my words were not correct. Not sleep well at night, but coming into breakfast, like you knew you were coming into breakfast every morning. Like we're literally like nervous, like, am I gonna be murdered? And then when
Yeah,
you talk about the banishment, like you said, when someone looks at someone wrong or anything like that, that
right.
goes across the board. Like we were banishing people, we were banishing people for crazy things. Oh, that person can't do this anymore, or that person, she turned her waist this way, and we were looking at like it was so crazy, like the most ludicrous reasons, to banish somebody. But at the end of the day, we all know that everybody can't take the pot, everybody can't
Right.
make it to the end. So you got to banish some people, some faithfuls, but
Yeah.
hopefully get the traitors out too. And yeah, I do understand. And after watching it, I do realize how difficult it is being a traitor.
Mm-hmm.
Parvati, she like her literally the first day we got there, we got to mingle with everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and so I got to talk to Parvati a lot. She's from Georgia, and we talked a lot. And she was smiling and happy. I promise you, just days later, I guess this is after they recruited her.
Mm-hmm.
She
Change.
went from being, I mean, happy to this,
Oh
like going in the
no.
room, not speaking, like her whole demeanor changed.
Wow.
Yeah,
Dead giveaway. Is that how you
yeah.
guys like locked onto her so quickly?
Yeah, that was one of the reasons. That was definitely one of the reasons. And even with Phaedra, I've known Phaedra for a long time.
Yeah.
Like coming into breakfast, Phaedra, or even the missions, la di da di da di. I'm not going to be murdered. I'm good. It was very
Wow.
obvious to me. Yeah.
Wow. See, that leads into my next question because on the first season, even though I had a couple previous connections with Stephanie and Rachel who were faithfuls. We had played the Snake in the Grass a game before, right before the Traitors, but everyone else was new to me. And even with that being said, at the end there was some bitterness. So how did that play with you and Phaedra being friends? And her having to, she had to, it was a requirement for her to lie to you and tell you that she was not a traitor. Did that affect you guys' friendship in any way?
Absolutely not. When I stepped into the castle, well, before we all met outside of the castle, I was excited to see Phaedra.
Yeah.
We had not worked together in some time, but I was really excited to see Phaedra. And then when I found out that she was a traitor, of course, I didn't let on to her, but no, I wasn't mad or offended that she had to lie to me. I'm glad she chose to continue to lie to me because I continue to lie to her as well. And at the end of the day, it's like she's holding me down. I'm gonna hold her down. I'm protecting her. She's protecting me, and I want to take Phaedra to the end.
Oh,
And
I
she,
appreciate that.
yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
love
So
that.
and
I
it's
love that.
yeah, it's actually gotten us closer. To be honest with you,
Oh, see,
having this experience together, you know.
right, right. It's not like people see us on TV playing games and like, how hard could it be? But it is not as easy, even as
It's
from a
not.
faithful standpoint, the stress level, the anxiety level on both
Mm-hmm.
ends is so high that it may, I guess, in Parvati's case, as an example, it may affect you and make you act differently on both
Yeah,
sides. Because that's why
yeah.
some of the people were banished. Like they were acting differently and they were faithfuls.
And they were faithful. And
Yeah.
the hardest thing is, which I never had to do, is go into the round table and
Mhm.
defend yourself when you
Ah,
know you're faithful and people are,
yeah.
just saying anything and just trying to having to, people say tell lies
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
having to defend these lies.
Yeah.
That is the hardest thing. And they're like, oh, well, she didn't stand up for herself or she couldn't
Yeah.
defend herself properly. How do you defend yourself against something that you know is flat
It's
out a
not
lie?
true. Right.
That's
And
hard.
that's what's difficult. It's difficult too being a traitor and watching that happen to people. A lot of times sitting there as a traitor and seeing the faithfuls have to defend themselves and when you know that they're faithfuls, it was heart wrenching. It was heart
Yeah.
wrenching. A couple of times it make you want to just stand up and say, "Okay, all right, guys, no, it's not them."
It's me. It's
We
me.
had some hard round tables, like it's not them, it's me. Stop, stop.
Yeah.
So I get
Yeah.
that. It's not for the faint at heart. I tell you, these games, some of them are not for the faint at heart.
At all.
So with Alan confirming that there will be a season 3 of the Traitors, any advice for future Traitors or future faithfuls? What did you see that the Traitors did wrong? Let's start with the Traitors side first. Did you see
Okay.
anything like Dan or Parvati outside of Parvati's behavior shifting did wrong or could have done differently that may have not gotten them identified?
Yeah, I would say actually Dan, they talked about Dan being super quiet. And so I used to defend
Mm,
Dan, which they could, was edited out. I'm like, no, just because he's quiet, I'm quiet as well. If this has been our personality or, who we are, we're not going to all of a sudden get into a castle and like be the loudest person there or the most talkative person there just because
right.
that doesn't make him a traitor. So I actually was defending Dan in the beginning, but that was one of the issues that people had with him. But another issue that I had, that we had with Dan, Phaedra too. Every time I tried to talk game with Phaedra,
Mm,
she would always change the subject. So that's the same with Dan. Dan would always say, "Oh, I'm close. I'll get you somebody." I'm thinking
yeah.
tomorrow's the day. I'm gonna, reveal it on tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes the next day, the next day, the next day. So Dan would never really give names, and just watching the show back, I'm like, Dan, I
Mhm.
didn't even know you talked as much as you did because they showed him talking a
Wow.
lot. But when we
Yeah.
were in the castle, it was like he was like mom's a word. He would never talk game. And Phaedra the
Wow.
same. She never wanted to talk game. I mean, she wanted to talk fashion. She wanted to talk about food, but it was never, never. I'm like, Phaedra, I think it's Parvati. Like,
Wow.
or like she would never literally engage in a conversation with me about the game.
That's kind of that's it's just interesting because that's my MO. Like I never want to throw people's names out there. I never really like I'll listen to the conversation, like, kind of like Major.
Yeah.
Well, I did notice that or something like that, but I
Uh-huh.
never initiated the conversation.
Yeah.
So future traders out there for season 3, take it from Miss Shereé here. If you're a trader, make sure you're talking game with the right people. You can't sit
Yeah.
quietly. You can't stay under the radar. Those qualities are being identified as traitorous qualities.
Yeah, for
What about
sure.
from the faithful side?
From the faithful side, I would
Yeah.
definitely say, as far as like some of the Bravo people or the housewives,
Hmm.
this is not the housewives. You cannot come in here and call people out immediately. You cannot come in here and be the most talkative. I would say,
Wow.
me as a faithful, I felt like I needed to go in and kind of ride under the radar and
Hmm.
be more of a listener.
But you
than
did
a
well.
talker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's the opposite on Housewives. So
Right.
you come here and you do everything you're not doing on the Housewives on the Traitors.
Well, you did it well, my dear, and you looked
Thank
fabulous
you.
while you were doing it.
Thank you.
Miss Shereé, if you're given the opportunity to compete on any other competition reality show out there, what would be your first choice if you could just make a phone call right now and say, I'd like to compete on this show? Well, who would you call?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's a tough one because to be honest with you, coming into the Traitors, I never watched any of those shows. Of course, I've heard of Survivor. Of course, I've
Right.
heard of Big Brother, The
Right.
Challenge, but I did not know any of the people. So the only people that I really recognized was Max from Dancing with the Stars, which is
Okay.
Huge. That
Yep.
would be cute. I can't dance. That would be funny.
Can you dance? Would you do dance?
No, that's what I said. I cannot dance. That's why it would be funny.
They would teach you though. They have
They'll teach you a little
professionals.
something. I don't think I could ever do Survivor. You saw how I reacted with the reptile. I don't do the reptiles, the insects. I don't do any of that.
Yeah, no, you look a little too high maintenance to be out there.
Yeah.
And I mean that in the best way.
And I take it in the best way. I am not offended by that.
All right, so Dancing with the Stars. Listen up for Miss Shereé. We can teach her something. Go ahead. What else?
Wait, I don't know. It's so many shows out there. I feel like I would be a good fit for a lot of them. I just don't know the names. Like I'm open to challenge myself, and I'm open to do different things and step outside my box.
I think you would be good on Big Brother, Shereé, because you had a level. You presented with a level aura. Right? You did a lot of listening, not a lot of talking. The only thing about Big Brother is the time frame. It's a long game. Usually somewhere in the 90s, we had 100 days, but it's usually somewhere in the 90 days. Right. But I think you present like you have the patience for a game like that, and everybody liked you. Nobody wanted to banish you. Nobody targeted you. And I think you'd be ideal for that game. There's some shorter games out there now, like Deal or No Deal Island. I think you'll be good on that.
That kind of reminds me of a Survivor.
But no, if you when Boston Rob spoke and when the other contestants spoke, this was like a elevated Survivor. Survivor, they don't get no little cabins. They in some little.
Oh, so they're in cabins. Okay, I just saw a commercial where they were outside.
Looks like a tent sort of type thing. Way better. 10 steps up from Survivor. Survivor, you have absolutely nothing. I wouldn't even suggest Survivor for you. Like I said, I think you two, there's no lip gloss in your hair.
I don't need no lip gloss. She don't need no makeup. That's good. Listen,
and I know
the Traitors, we couldn't do none of that. We had to do
I don't see you sleeping on the ground.
Thank you. I don't see that either.
No, you did not come across as somebody that's going to, because when you get there, it's a little bit of a shock when you like, oh, wait, so this is real.
Yeah.
You literally are sleeping on the ground and things are crawling on you and biting you. And and I don't see that for you.
Yeah, Sandra told me about that. I've gotten close to Sandra.
Yeah.
Who you actually did.
Survivor with. I didn't get far that season, so I didn't really get to play with her long. We actually played 2 seasons together, but we were never on the same tribe together.
Okay.
So when Game Changers, she went home before we got close to the end, so I never got to play with her. And then Heroes versus Villains, I went home before the merge, so I never got to play with her. But I know Sandra from other events and everything.
Yeah. Told me about the bugs and the insects and all that. So that's a no.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah, other people have mentioned Big Brother to me, and I've never watched it.
Something about you says to me like, "Damn, Shereé would be good on Big Brother." I don't know if it's your level-headedness, or just the fact that not one word, nobody ever said Shereé anything on the Traitors besides nice things. Like nobody targeted you in any way, and I think, and you have this calm patience about you that you would need on Big Brother because it is a long game.
Yeah. And one of the things that you guys didn't know as well, like of course, when my torch was lit first, is because I was I was very well liked in the house. I was also a part of the Peter Pals. which
I didn't
nobody
know that.
knows that. Yes, I was inducted into the Peter Pal, so I was in there trying to make different alliances. My alliance wasn't
So
just
she
with
got
this
a
one
little-
particular group.
She got a little strategic prowess on her too. She ain't just a pretty face, y'all. Y'all
That's
hear
right.
that? Call her. Y'all hear?
Yeah.
Well, Shereé, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me, even though I was a previous traitor. I thank you for being
No,
a
you did
faithful
amazing.
and coming to talk with me. What's up? How can we find you if they want to give you a call about these other shows? Anything you want to plug? Here's your minute. Let's get it.
You know what? They can find me on IG at Shereé Whitfield, or
Okay.
even on Twitter. I am Shereé. I think I have all of my information on my social pages. How to get
Okay.
in touch with me if they want to, book me for any of these shows. I'm ready.
Absolutely.
She's willing,
Absolutely.
and I'm excited. I'm excited. Like, this Traitors really got me amped. Like, I am
you
ready.
got the bug.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
got
happened
the
to me. You
bug.
got the bug.
Yes.
I also
Yes.
want to mention to you guys this lovely blue hoodie that she has on. Is she by Shereé?
Yes,
And that's
it
my
is.
favorite color, blue, as y'all can see. It's not like blue.
I gotta send you one. Yes.
Absolutely. So thank you again for coming on McBods. McBods is Mother Knows Best. Or does she? And it's only or does she because of the millennials, the Gen Zs, my son, who they think they know better than us all the time, but Mother always knows best.
Absolutely.
And you know that.
Yes, I do. Yes,
well, thank you, Shereé. I wish you nothing but success. And you never know, we might run into each other on one of these shows.
Oh, I would love to be on the show with you, boo. I would love to be on the show with you.
Likewise, let's make that happen.
Let's put it out there.
Thank you, my dear. You're just as beautiful a person as you are on my television.
So
I've been watching you for so long. I thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you so much. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Shereé. Thank you.
Thank you.